Hi, I am your host, ShaRhonda, and welcome back to Let the Lord Lead podcast, episode 2.
Soften up the mess, drop it in the water, let the daughter find her image with the rest. She'll be learning how to breathe, spinning through identity reveal.
We made it to episode 2, you guys. If you didn't watch episode 1, go watch episode 1 and then come back to this episode. We are here with number two, and I am so excited again. In my first video, I was just so happy that I finally started the podcast, and here we are in number 2. We got number 2, second episode, and we are back. So I hope you guys are doing good, but we are going to jump right into this episode. Today, we are going to be talking about heartbreak and how it led me closer to God. And yes, so if you haven't liked, comment, or subscribe, go ahead and stop. Like the video before you watch it because it's going to be good always. Comment and subscribe. But today we are going to be talking about heartbreak. Kind of heartbreak, but it's just like how it led me to be closer to God. Not necessarily the heartbreak, but how it led me to God. So heartbreak isn't the easiest thing to ever go through. I can actually put that in here. It's not the easiest thing to go through. It's actually the hardest thing to go through, especially if you're in it by yourself. It can be so draining and it can be so hard to actually go through when you don't have anybody on your side. So I know exactly what it feels like, but everybody is different, but I feel like heartbreak, it hurts. Like, it don't matter who you are or what age you are, heartbreak is heartbreak and it hurts, okay? It's not called heartbreak for no reason. It actually hurts. So, a little backstory on who gave me the heartbreak. Me and the person been together for about 5 years. We have kids together. I went through his phone and I seen that he was talking to somebody else. Okay, but that don't have nothing to do with this episode. That's just a little backstory so you can understand where my hurt is actually coming from. So been with somebody for so long, so many years, and got kids together. That's all. That's the backstory on that. And then my backstory on me and God's relationship. So me and God, I always had a relationship with God. I always talked to God. I always prayed to God. And I always knew of God my whole life, basically. My whole life. But now, me and God's relationship is like this. Like, I understand more now than I ever understood ever. I talk to God daily, all day long. I praise him more now than I ever have before. I kind of just understand more now in my life than I have ever in my life ever with God. So my relationship with God has always been there, but now it's stronger now than it has ever been. So I wrote down some questions that I feel like I should ask myself and answer in today's episode that is very necessary with what needs to be said. So, first question is, how did the heartbreak lead you to the Lord? Well, I can't say I was already starting to pray to God about my relationship. So I I already felt like there was something going on in my relationship, but I could not put my finger on exactly what it was. But I knew it was something off. You know, you trust your intuition because that intuition is always leading you to the right things. So, but this is before I kind of knew exactly what it was with my intuition thing. I kind of had to learn this. Kind of had to learn this the hard way. But I felt like it was something off, and I was already talking to God. I was already praying about my relationship. Like, God, I feel like there's something going on that needs to be said, or something, just something. I just felt something deep down inside. And if you know, then you know. You know the feeling And I just felt like he was just doing something that he probably shouldn't be doing. And I felt that deep down in my soul. And I would just sit here and talk to God like, God, please reveal exactly what's going on. God, please reveal exactly what's going on. And I asked God, like, for months, because I was feeling this feeling for months. And one thing about God, when you ask God to reveal something, he will reveal it, but he's going to do it on his time. And sometimes it take a little bit longer than what you expect, because God is intentional about what he does and when he does it. So I was literally just sitting here praying to God, like, God, something feels off. Please reveal it. Please tell me what's going on in this relationship. I need to know something, because I'm not feeling this feeling for no reason. And always trust that feeling that you feel, because 9 times out of 10, you are feeling something that is correct. And I will say that. But yeah. So God, I was asking God, like, please reveal, tell me what's going on. Tell me, God, what is going on. I feel it deep down in my soul. I need you to just let me know what's going on, because obviously he ain't gonna say nothing, because who's gonna say something about anything? But God told me. God literally revealed to me exactly what was going on. But it took months and months of me asking God to tell me what was going on. But another thing with God is he was waiting until I was fully ready to see what it is that I saw. So that's another thing. I probably wouldn't have been ready when I first started asking God, and God knew that. But God was literally just preparing me. He was making it known that something was going on, but I couldn't put my finger on it. He was letting me know, like, something is about to get exposed, but you need to be prepared for it, so that when you find out, you don't just, be overly hurt or go overly crazy regardless. So yeah, God took months and months before he actually revealed to me exactly what was going on, because he knew that I probably wouldn't be able to handle it at the time that I was asking it for. So God was preparing me for the moment that I found out. I knew deep down inside something was going on, and God was preparing me with that feeling. That feeling that I kept feeling, that was God preparing me for the reveal. But God do answer your prayers. It's on his time. So yeah, I was asking God to tell me what's going on, and he let me know. He told me exactly what was going on. It was a sense of go through that phone and go to this exact thing on that phone. That's exactly what happened, and it revealed everything that I needed to know, for real. And yeah, when I found out, I was actually hurt, and I was sad, and I was hurt. I'm not gonna say I was, because I still feel like something. Okay, there's never not a time where I don't think about this stuff. Like, it don't matter how long it's been or none of that. I will always think about it, and that is probably something that I gotta heal from still. But it takes a long time to try to heal from something that you didn't expect to happen. But yeah, when I found out, I was so sad and I was so hurt. And a lot of people won't tell you, like, the real raw feelings behind a heartbreak. It could mess you up. It could literally mess you up, thinking that something was totally different than what it actually was. That could really mess you up. And I can't say, but God prepared me for that moment before I even found out. That's why it's important to talk to God, and God will always be on your side. God will always be on your side. So if you ever feel like something is going on, you have to pray about it. You have to talk to God about it. Ask God to prepare you to understand what it is first. Like, ask him to prepare you, because I was prepared first. Like, I knew the feeling. I felt like something was going on, and then the reveal. It took months and months of me feeling like this before I actually found out. So yes, just talk to God. God will be on your side, literally. God will always be on your side. He knows what's going on. God sees everything. God knows everything. Okay, next question. Are you still feeling the heartbreak? Yes. It doesn't matter how long it's been. It's been months, almost, uh, not a year yet, but it's been months. But yes, I still feel it every single day. And the only thing that I do to get through it really for real is talk to God. Because God literally knows what's going on already. And I just talk to God. Because there's some days where I'll be just fine. And then I start thinking about everything that I saw. So the only thing that I do really is talk to God. There's no other thing for real. I just literally talk to God every single day about whatever it is that I'm feeling, anything that I'm going through. God is on your side. God is right there waiting for you to talk to him. So if you are heartbroken, or if you are sad, or if you're in a sea of just feeling alone and sad, God is right there waiting for you to talk to him. He's always there. He's always waiting. He's always listening. He's waiting for you to come to him. So don't ever think that God isn't right there. God is waiting for you. So if you feel like you're going through something and you feel like God don't want to hear from me, God is not listening to me, God ain't answering, God is right there listening to you. It might not feel like it, and it really won't feel like it. I'm not gonna lie. Some days it'll feel like you can't hear God at all. It feel like God has disappeared, but God is right there by your side, literally at every step of the way. He's always there. Okay, next question is, what did I realize? So I realized that even though everything hurt, everything that came out hurt me and I was sad, I realized I had to go through this because this is what I asked God to reveal to me. I have to like realize this is what I asked for, right? But this is not necessarily what I asked for, right? So what it is that really got me is I was asking and praying God because I'm ready to grow in my life, right? I'm ready to do more in my life, become who I'm supposed to become in my life, and understand. So what it is that I realized is that I was asking God for more in life. I want more in my life. I want to be further in life. I want to, I just want to grow in my life. And in order to grow in your life, something has to fall apart, or you have to go through something in order for things to start shifting in your life and all of those type of things. See, when I was asking God for more in my life, I didn't know that he was gonna it was gonna be a heartbreak involved in that. So I was just ready to grow in my life. I'm just at a point in my life where I'm ready to grow and go be further in life and just do what it is that God is calling me to do in my life. And the only way that you can really just find that out is by asking God. And God will allow you to go through some things before he can reveal exactly what it is that you're supposed to be doing in your life. But God has to start somewhere in your life. What did I realize? I realized that I asked God for this in a sense. I didn't necessarily ask exactly like, God, give me a heartbreak. No. I was asking for growth in my life. I was asking for more in my life. I'm ready to be farther in my life. That's what I was asking God. And then a heartbreak came. So God, seeing that I was ready to just grow in my life and have more in my life, and so he had to start somewhere in my life, and that is a realization that I had to have, that basically I asked for it because I was praying for more in my life. But in order to get more, you gotta figure out something with your current life. Something gotta shift in your current life before you can get more in your next life, in your next chapter, or whatever it is it may be. And having a heartbreak opened my eyes to so many different things and the way in my life that I never thought it would. So having a heartbreak is realizing like the things that you want in your life, the things that you don't want, the things you want to go through, the things you don't want to go through. It's like it kind of just it makes you realize things that you never realized before. And that's another thing. God needed me to realize some things also that I just wasn't seeing. Not necessarily about the heartbreak, not necessarily about the person. It's just like realizations about me. Like things about me that I need to understand, things about me that I want in my life. Like I was asking to grow in my life, but what is it that I actually want in my life? You know what I'm saying? So what is it that you actually want in your life to make you grow? So that's another. So it's things like that. I had to realize exactly the things that I want in my life, what I don't want, what I want to deal with, what I don't want to deal with. So in order to grow, you got to know exactly what it is that you want. Like, that heartbreak made me realize like some things that I want in my life, some things that I don't want in my life. It just like it brung that type of stuff out. Things that I did not see at first, okay? That's another thing. At first, when I first had the heartbreak, I was just sad and hurt. But after like keep months and months going through it, you start having realizations of what things you want in your life, what things you don't want in your life, where you want to grow, and all those type of things. So it's also like a blessing in disguise of realizing like you asked for this, you want to grow in your life, you want to go to the next level in your life. So we got to start from somewhere in your life, and that's what God did. He had to start somewhere within my life that I was, already dealing with. So, okay, so insight of this episode. So every episode I'm going to put in an insight of every episode. And today's insight is prayer might not look like the way that you want it to. I'm going to say it again. Prayer might not look the way that you want it to look like. So when I was praying for growth in my life, for things to start happening in my life, I definitely didn't pray for heartbreak. I can definitely tell you that. That's not what I asked for. But in order to grow in your life, something has to happen. Something has to shift in order to grow. Something has to shift in order for you to step into the next level of your life. So that's another realization that I had. Prayers don't always look like what you want it to look like. So that is another thing that you kind of got to understand in your life. You may be asking for things and God is actually answering your prayers, just not in the way that you thought God was going to answer your prayers. So that is something that you just need to sit with today. I'm asking you to think about that all day today. Prayers may not always look like what you think they look like, because I had to realize that. And a lot of times people be like, God isn't answering my prayers. Stuff ain't happening for me. But the thing is, God is answering your prayers. It just might not look the way that you thought it was going to look. So a lot of times you might be sad and hurt about something that you prayed for, and you think God didn't answer it, but God is answering your prayers. It just might not be in a way that you expect it to be. It might have to come with a little bit of hurt first before God actually answer your prayer. It might come with a bit of sadness or some anger in there too. It just might not be the way that you thought it was gonna be, but God has to start somewhere. So when you're asking for things, God starts somewhere in your life. It could be any area in your life. It doesn't even necessarily have to be heartbreak. It can be your job. Like, it can be your career. It can be any area of your life. If you are asking God for something, just know He will answer it in due time. He will answer it on His timing, and He's going to answer it His way. And that could be a struggle. Answering it on His time and His way, it kind of sounds crazy. But God is intentional. God has to do it His way. If God did it your way, Just think about it. If God answered prayers your way, wouldn't you be just living lovely? Like, sometimes you have to go through some things in order to get some great things in your life. Things have to fall apart before they come together. So a lot of times we be asking for things and wishing things could happen quickly. We be wishing things could happen on our time. We be wishing it can just happen the greatest way. Just like I ask and I get it. No, it doesn't always work like that. God is intentional about what he does. Sometimes you have to learn things in order to grow. Sometimes you have to learn different things about yourself that you didn't know before in order to step into the next level of your life. It's just different. Like, you never know exactly the way that God will answer your prayers. But if you sit here and realize the realization that prayers don't always look like they need to or how you want it to look, then you might have to reevaluate your life. Like, look over your life and realize that God answered your prayers. He just answered them his way and in his timing. And that's okay. Like, sometimes you just have to be okay with what God does. And that's the point of this podcast. Let the Lord lead. Allow him to lead your life. Allow him to set the time in. Allow him to be the one to do it. Allow God to break you down so he can build you into whoever he needs you to be. Allow God to just do that for you. Allow the Lord to lead your way. Let the Lord lead and just let him do whatever he needs to do. And it is easier said than done, I promise you, because I go through these things daily. This is stuff that I go through, so I know exactly how it feels to try to let the Lord lead whenever you are ready to step into something. But God has to literally, he has to work on you first before he gives you what you're asking, because you have to be able to handle what it is that he's asking you. He doesn't want to just give it to you and then you mess everything up. So sometimes it hurts. Sometimes you get angry, you get frustrated, you get irritated, you're tired, you don't want to do it no more. And that's just what it is whenever you're allowing God to lead your way. And it's the truth. You feel tired. You feel like you want to give up. But God is still right there with you. Like, and God is going to always be with you as long as you allow him to be. And that was the insight of the last episode. God will be with you as long as you allow him to be. So yes, it might be tough. It's going to be a tough, long battle, a long ride, or whatever you want to call it. But these are the prayers that you're asking God for. And God has to prepare you for the things that you're asking for. And it may be hard. And it might be a long process, longer than what you thought. All these people that you see that you comparing yourself to had to go through something in order to get to that place in their life. It may look like they never went through nothing and they just got it easy, but I promise you, everybody has something that they had to go through in order to get to the place that they had to be at. It's not like, it's literally everybody. Everybody has to go through something. It might be different for everybody, but they had to go through something. It's not just, it might look good on the outside, I promise you, but there's some things that they are struggling with. That's why you don't compare yourself. Everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own battle. Everybody has their own testimony. Everybody has tests and trials that they have to go through in order to get to the place that they want to be. Especially if you're trying to allow God to lead your way. It's literally the hardest thing possible. I can say, I'm gonna be honest. Like, some people ain't honest about how hard that it is to allow God to just lead your way. It could be sad, it could be lonely, it could be tiresome. Like, but God will not leave you right there. God will not leave you. He won't leave you. It might feel like he's not right there by your side, but God is literally by your side. He's by your side at all times. Remember, you asked for it, right? You have to remember that you asked for this. It's just not in the way that you thought that it was going to be, but God is right there by you. No matter what you're thinking, God is right there by your side. And just let him to continue to work on you so that you can be just so good and be able to handle what it is that he got for you in your next chapter. I promise you it's going to be worth it. And this is me talking to me and you. This is things that I have to listen to too, because I am going through this myself. I'm going through this right now. I'm in this phase right now where I'm tired and I want more and I'm trying, and some days it's harder than others, and I feel like God ain't hearing me. I'm going through this too. It's not just you. I'm talking to you and I'm talking to me. It's just like I'm just being real about it. Some people ain't as real as they need to be about how it truly is to try to let the Lord lead for real. It's really hard, but I promise you, we ain't giving up. That's just not what we gonna do. We done came this far. We not giving up no time ever. We're not gonna let the enemy win at all, ever. And let's just cut it right there. We're not gonna let him win at all, okay? So just know that God is by your side. I'm dealing with this too. And that's why I'm building this community, because we can all go through it together. It's always good to have somebody by your side. So yes, you're not alone. God is right there. Your prayers are being answered just in a way that you might not expect, but just know that it'll be worth everything that you ever had to go through. Whatever it is that God is preparing you for, it's worth it. It is worth it. Trust in God, trust in God's timing. It is worth it. And so today, in today's episode, I want to say a prayer. I want to say a prayer because I just feel like it's needed in this episode. So close your eyes right now. Close your eyes. I'm going to say a quick little short prayer, and we're going to just be okay after this. Okay, so God, I pray for healing for whoever is watching this episode. The ones that are going through heartbreak, or who's just going through life, period. It may be a hard, tough time, God. I just pray that you are here by everybody who is going through anything. Please allow yourself to be with them in every step of the way. Please allow yourself to be by their side. Please let them hear your voice whenever they are feeling doubtful, sadness, hurtness, or madness, irritated, anger, whatever it is. God, I pray that you are by their side. I pray that you are here to heal them. I pray that you allow them to finally step into the person that you have called them to be, God. I pray that whatever it is that the person on the other side of the screen is facing is able to get through whatever it is. God, I pray that you are here for them, and I pray that you never leave their side. And we're going to say amen. So that concludes today's episode. Yeah, prayer might not always look like how you want it to be. So just sit with that and realize that God is moving, even if it doesn't feel like it. Realize that God is by your side, even if it doesn't feel like it. And all you have to do is just talk to God. In the next episode, we will be talking about isolation season, and that might get a little bit deep too. But come on this ride with me, because I am in the same position that you are. I have the same feelings that you have, and I have the same questions that you have. We are the same. We feel the same. We're in the same phase. Yes. So I just want to build this community so that we could come together, be together, and have each other. God is by your side, and God is always with you. And that is today's episode.